Welcome, welcome! It's my dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And a couple days ago, I did a Q&A announcements video where I asked you guys, my viewers, to ask questions in the comments of that particular video. So today, we're going to answer some of those questions. I will do more answers tomorrow in another video. As you can see here, I'm coming into the hangar here in 310 PTU with my Connie Andromeda in the blue and gold livery. This was gotten back in May during the Invictus launch week. I had some credits and I was able to pick up this paint job, and it looks really cool. You can buy different paint jobs and stuff in 310 as well. They're kind of pricey, I believe, but you'll still be able to pick those up and you can make your ships look a little different, at least some of them. On with the questions. First question up, Zebra Up asks, where in Texas is Bubba from? And what made him venture out into the verse when he left the UEE Marines? In case you guys don't know, I've been doing a series where the hero's name is Tex Bubba McGentry. He has been going on all sorts of different adventures in the Stanton system. I enjoy doing the videos. I really like them. It doesn't seem like it's a super popular series except for the people who really like it. And there are quite a few people that actually really love the series. I do enjoy doing them, so we're going to continue with Bubba's storyline. And in that storyline, you'll get a little bit more information as regards to the answers to these questions. But I'll give you a kind of a quick, I guess, brief explanation of both. So Bubba is from East Texas. As you know, and you get a little bit further more rural, accents seem to be a little heavier. So Bubba's is no different. He's from East Texas, deep in the heart of East Texas. So he's got a little bit more of a Texas accent. You know, he could be from West Texas, North Texas, South Texas, but that's kind of where I've pinged him from right now, is from in the piney woods of East. What made him venture out into the verse when he left the UEE Marines? Well, he was already out in the verse because when his tour ended, or couple tours, he was pretty much, you know, stationed out in the black. His pappy passed away, that's his grandfather, and left him his freelancer. His pappy used to do all sorts of different jobs, odd and otherwise, in the freelancer, cargo runs, VIP transports, you know, he did all sorts of different things, dealt with all sorts of different kinds of people, and he would tell his grandson, Tex, all about it. And so Tex has kind of like this thrill-seeking side to him because he's a former Marine, and, you know, it just seemed like a future possibility for him always. You know, his grandfather always intrigued him, being out amongst the stars and exploring new worlds and systems and stuff. So he just kind of got the bug, and that's what he ends up doing. So you're kind of getting to see some of that play out. Next question is from Tugs-A-Lot. If Chuck Norris played Star Citizen, what would he fly? It was pretty good that Riggsy73 actually answered this question down below Tugs's question, and it was, Chuck Norris wouldn't need a ship. He'd just travel around without one and still dominate all space battles. It's a pretty good answer. I like that answer. I like it a lot. It fits. You could also say that most people need oxygen to survive. Well, oxygen needs Chuck Norris to survive. So, yeah, as far as what ships, well, we have a ship in the Texas Space Navy in the Rangers Division, which, by the way, we do have multiple divisions in the Texas Space Navy, Special Forces, that sort of thing. The Rangers are one of the Special Forces groups, but one of their frigates is an Idris M named Chuck Norris. It is going to be a pretty awesome ship. So, we do have a ship called Chuck Norris. Now, is it completely fitting in the name? Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's got to be a tough ship, and it's got to pack a punch. And that's what I'd look for. You know, I could say the Ares or the Eclipse. Both of those punch way above their weight. I don't know. I don't know how tough they are. I don't think they're going to be, either one of them, very tough. So they don't really necessarily fit the mold. But I think Riggsy's answer is probably the best fitting for that particular question today. Dan Watt asks, have you got a favorite ship right now, and is there one you have your eye on that could replace it? Dan, that is a very tough question to answer. It's kind of a loaded question because we have to kind of qualify what you mean by favorite ship right now. You mean favorite ship in the game that's flyable? Favorite ship that's been concepted so far? What do you exactly mean by that? Do you mean my favorite ship out of all fighters? Do you mean my favorite ship out of all haulers? I have a lot of favorites. So I could take a whole video going over all my different favorites, and maybe we should actually do that. I could do a tiered video where I say, okay, we've got light fighters today. These are my favorite or my picks for God tier light fighters, medium tier, don't touch it tier, that sort of thing. I've seen people do that with D&D classes and stuff here on YouTube. Could be interesting to do that with Star Citizen ships as well. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd be interested in a video like that or a series of videos. As far as my favorite ships, if you're talking about fighters, in 310 it's going to be the Saber. It feels great flying it. It packs a big punch with the 4 size 3s. I really like the Saber in 310. If you're talking about cargo ships, let's go with the Caterpillar in 310 because it's just a big cargo ship. It can hold a lot. It's the biggest one in the game at the time. Probably my favorite one. Not as much overhead. So yeah. Now in the future, it'll be a whole E for cargo. But we're talking right now, right? And future to replace it. Yeah, the whole E would probably be the one to replace that for me. Or even the Kraken. You could probably run that as a cargo ship and be alright. I wouldn't mind that one bit. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. As far as fighters replacing the Saber, I would probably say the Ares. I'm really, really looking forward to flying an Ares and seeing if I can one-shot, ships of the same size or smaller. That would be really awesome. See what kind of damage I could do to like a Andromeda, that sort of thing. I really am looking forward to that ship. I think it's going to be so much fun to fly that, especially in a pack. A pack of Ares ships will be absolutely devastating to enemies. Hopefully I did a decent job of answering that question. Like I said, it's kind of a tough question for me personally to answer. Now, let's move on to K9, who asked, what are your thoughts on the new flight model in 310, and what would you have done differently if it was up to you? Fantastic question. Very hard to answer because there's a lot of different ways I could answer it. 310, I'm not a big fan of the atmospheric flight, though it has improved a little bit for certain ships. There were some major bugs early on with the 100% strafing and stuff. Some of that's been fixed as well. So, yeah, I'm liking it better now than what it was in the first 310 PTU Wave 1 patch, for sure. Now, what would I have changed? I think I would go back to 1.8 flight mechanics. I feel 1.8 was the best flight mechanics we had. And so I know a lot of people are going to be upset about this, okay? I really enjoyed 1.8 and the way that ships handled. I felt like I could really fly my ship, like I could maneuver it the way I wanted to. Even the sluggish ships like the Hornet, I felt more comfortable flying than I do now. It's a feeling, and I don't know how else to describe it. It's a feeling, and it felt good back then. Now, why did it have to change? Well, there could be any number of reasons why it had to change. It could be anything from they added some more stuff to the code, they switched to Lumberyard, and it broke some of it. So they had to redo the whole thing. That's a viable answer. We haven't really heard that that was the actual answer, though. My theory is keep it simple, stupid. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. The more stuff you add to code for a game or a program, the more likely you're going to break something. So the more stuff that keep adding to this flight model, the more chances it's going to break something and make things not work the way we want it to. So I'm not a big fan of adding all the extra stuff. Now I know there's a lot of people that really love the more realistic flight. And there's this genre for you. There's a spot for you. I understand that. But I don't want to fly expanse type ships where I have to flip around to slow down. That's not fun to me. This game should be fun. And yes, I realize if we get too arcadey, there's no skill really involved. I understand that. But I feel like 1.8 was the sweet spot. It wasn't too arcadey. It wasn't super complex. You had to work at to be super good at flying, but it wasn't beyond the realm of possibility. It wasn't something that was going to be super, super, super hard for anybody. So that's what I think. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this. Stay tuned for part 2 tomorrow. I really do appreciate everybody that tunes in. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy. I'll see you out in the verse.